Finals here in the Walt Disney World bubble. And this is a place where news spread pretty quickly this afternoon about the indictment in the case of Breonna Taylor. Of course, this is a case that so many players have been following, using their media availabilities to talk about, and really wanting to say that they told me this afternoon, they just expressed so much frustration that in the case of yet another black woman in this country, there was no charges brought, but rather only a charge for endangering her neighbors. LeBron James talked to the Lakers about the case on the team group chat. The Nuggets talked about it at practice. Boston coach Brad Stevens texted his players when the news broke, telling them if they wanted to talk, he was there for them. As for the Heat, several players said what today really has done has renewed the resolve to push a message of voting here in the bubble, especially just trying to get the message out to their communities that Election Day is not about just voting for president, but for the local officials who run their police forces, who decide what and who to prosecute. Mike, obviously this conversation is so much bigger than basketball, but as we watch these guys play, everyone should know what's on their minds right now. They don't have the luxury of just compartmentalizing on a day like today.
Well, actually, many of these players, this was, you mentioned, just a very difficult day because, as you said, this particular case, this specific killing, was one that many of the players singled out and constantly talked about because of how important it was to them. There are people that
Namay
wish
ko,
that
Ancho
he
eh.
played would just shut up.
Kita man ang TCL.
There's people that wish that we would shut up. My challenge is for us as a people, the ones that look like Breonna Taylor and the ones that don't. Let's be better and let's hold the powers that be accountable. Just over 3 minutes remaining. The Heat now back up by 2. And Solomon Hill came in during that last timeout. This is Solomon Hill's first playoff minutes. Bill, a veteran, he's been in the league for 7 years. He came over in the Iguodala-Jay Crowder trade, but has hardly played. Played a little bit in the bubble as Tyler Hero banks it home. But these are his first minutes of the entire playoffs. Guys, any thoughts as to why all of a sudden he's seen some action?
Downsize, play more speed instead of a backup center like Olenek, and play bigger than Kendrick Nunn.
Dragic, nice move, but the offhand couldn't finish. Brad Wanamaker pushing it to Walker, to Hayward. Hayward inside Williams, he's fouled. Nope, thought I heard a whistle. Williams then banks it
Tamang
home.
gunang kwan eh.
Williams looked like he got hit on the first one, even looked like he stopped, but still continued to play. And he's got a chance for a three-point play.
A good job for Williams. The activity on the offensive boards, pursuing the basketball, gets the contact, gets the hoop also. And as a coach, sometimes you try different things with Eric Spoelstra putting in Solomon Hill, and sometimes you stumble onto something working, and then there's times where you say, I need to go back to the traditional way. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out.
Dragic floats it up. Adebayo couldn't quite get it, and it goes out of bounds. Pass was a little bit behind him. And the Celtics will bring it up down 2.
What I find interesting is you usually don't see the winning coach change. So Brad Stevens changed and plays Robert Williams instead of Cantor.
Tatum lines up at 3. As well as Tatum has played, and he has been spectacular, including this series. He has not shot the ball well against the Heat in the series. Dragic for three-point range, that is. Iguodala way outside. Under 2 to play, opening period. Hayward spins back to Williams. Tatum creating a little space, and he used his arm to create that space. So an offensive foul on Tatum, that's his first.
He doesn't look as fluid or as athletic tonight. I don't know if he's hobbled or not, but he just doesn't look as explosive here. Solomon Hill fights over, and I like how they're making these offensive foul calls when you extend your eye. All the other rules are against the defense. At least that one, they're giving the defense a fighting chance.
You know, Solomon Hill making an impact. That ball knocked out of bounds by fighting over that screen and drew the charge.
So part of the problem is, Coach, if you're the Celtics defending this Miami Heat team on the floor right now, it's not as much pressure because Hero's the lone shooter. So you're better equipped to defend Bam diving to the cup off a pick and roll action.
Well, there's no doubt. Sometimes you put more defense on the floor, and you still think you're going to figure out ways to score. And it's just harder to score. There's always trade-offs in all these decisions coaches have to make.
Jaylen Brown drives. Now tough fall-away shot, and he drew the foul on Goran Dragic. That's going to be Dragic's first personal.
If that was contact, that's a horrible foul. You've done your job defensively, forcing him into that tough shot.
And that's the third one they've had on jump shots. That's terrific defense. And it's not a foul.
As Brown, the first. Brown has been one of the strongest voices in the NBA bubble regarding social justice. This is one wise young man. If you get a chance, Baxter Holmes has an article on ESPN.com that tells you the story of this young man, and it's incredible. You get the feeling his post-playing career is where he will truly make his mark. He's got his sights on a lot more than basketball, both while he plays and certainly afterwards. But it's a terrific article, as Adebayo was fouled, and he'll go to the line for two.
I'll tell you what, another terrific article was done today was by Mark Spears, where he talked to Boston Celtics assistant coach Jerome Allen about his bribery scandal at the University of Pennsylvania and what he learned from it and what he's trying to take forward. I thought it was a tremendous insight, and there's Jerome, into his background, his family, and what he's trying to accomplish going forward. I was impressed.
Allen was an excellent college player. You've seen him play. Adebayo leading up at the free throw line, 5 points, 3 rebounds. In this series, Adebayo leads the Heat in scoring, rebounding, steals, and blocks, and he's second in assists.
Talking to Brad Stevens, he was raving about how good Bam is and how much of a disaster it is to try to game plan against him.
He said he's the most impactful player in the series thus far. Wanamaker up top to Tatum. 4 on the shot clock. Tatum continues down the lane, but comes up short. Rebound, Williams. And Williams with a nice impact off the bench. Very active as usual. Tyler Hero, little crossover, kicks it back out. Iguodala.
Iguodala's got to shoot that open shot.
Crowder, couple of feet behind the arc. Miami just 2 of 9. They're a terrific three-point shooting team, but they struggled in game 3. They actually missed 32 three-pointers. They're just 2 of 9 to start here in game 4. Shot clock is off. Tatum, long way out. Nearly banked it in. Adebayo the rebound, and that will end the first quarter.
Yes.